Good evening and welcome to the Job Search Solution, the radio program where we talk about looking for a job, changing jobs, changing careers, hiring. And as always, we begin with a prayer. Dear God, grant us thy peace and thy mercy. Thy will be done. In just a few minutes, Rich Levinsky is going to be with us talking about consultants in the workplace. Meanwhile, I wanted to bring up an issue that has been an issue since I got in this business and since 1973, and it has to do with your resume if you're a job candidate. We're going to discuss this over the next couple of weeks in these videos, but I really want to emphasize that most people mess this up something terribly. I get close to 100 resumes a day, and I got to tell you that the majority of them just don't cut it. And I'm going to go over the major reasons now, and then over the next couple of weeks, we're going to discuss some of the minor issues that have to do with your resume. But the biggest mistake that most people make when it comes to their resume is they think that their resume actually gets read by someone. Literally, they think they start at the top of it and they read down to the bottom. They don't, especially if the resume is sent electronically. The resume is scanned. People start when they see it on the screen, in the middle of the screen. They go to the left. They go all the way up to the right, up to the top of the page, look at the top of the page, and then kind of decide what they're going to do after that. Your resume is getting scanned. So what does that mean? That means that simple things like you have to have your name, your address, your phone number, your LinkedIn profile at the top. Black letters, white paper, nothing fancy. And then, and here's what's really most important, the 3 or 4 things you absolutely have to have on the resume. You have to have who you worked for, what you did there, exactly how long you were there, and how successful you were when you were there. Who you worked for. Just because there are 132,000 businesses in the United States, nobody knows what your company does. You've got to tell them. I can't tell you the number of resumes I get where people just put down the name of the company as though everybody in the world knows what that company does. If people can't detect what your company does, they are likely to move on to the next 150 resumes that they've got. So you've got to make it real clear what your company does. Babich and Associates, Southwest's oldest placement and recruitment firm. And then to the right in the column in black letters, the total time you were there. The more jobs you've had on your resume, the more difficult it is for most people to like it. So what you have to do is you make sure that they know in big bold letters exactly how long you were there. If you had jobs, a number of different jobs over different periods of times, you can put those under the major heading, but who you worked for, what the company did, how long you were there, and what you did. And put what you did in terms everybody can understand. Customer servant doesn't mean anything to anybody. Put it in terms everybody can understand. And then explain in 1 or 2 sentences exactly what you did. Don't assume they're going to understand that by the title that you give. And then, and probably what's most important, you've got to summarize how successful you were. Stories sell, numbers tell. The more numbers that you can give about the success you had, increased sales 32%, decreased shrinkage 52%, any kind of percentages, People gravitate towards numbers, and bold those numbers. Make sure those numbers are bold so that people can see some kind of measurement. And you do that with each job. And you got to fix it so that a high school senior could understand who you worked for, what you did, how long you were there, and how successful you were. People scan that resume. If they see something they like, they may very well give you a call and bring you in. But the more stuff you put in there thinking that your resume is going to get read word for word, I guarantee you the more problems you're going to have. If there's too much on the resume, we got a resume the other day that was 11 pages long. Nobody is going to even scan 11 pages. They're going to look at that resume real quickly and they're going to decide, do I want to bring this person in? Do I want to call this person on the phone? So you got to hit them in the mouth and you got to do it really fast. You got to show you were successful. And that's what's most important about the thing. Your resume is not going to get you a job. Your resume is supposed to get you an interview. Keep it short, keep it to the point, and make it clear that when people scan what they see, they'll know what they're dealing with. If there's a question about it, or they're just not sure, it's too easy to go on to the next one of the 150 that they've got in front of them. So please do yourself a favor, keep it simple and keep it to the point. Next week, we'll go over some of the mistakes that people make when it comes to resumes. All right, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. This is Tony Bashara with the Job Search Solution.